Hey guys, what is up? Pritesh from the PIPodcast, and today I'm going to be going over the Raiders side of things for the Hall of Fame game. Ian went over the Jaguars Hall of Fame game post-game stuff, so definitely check out that video. One thing I want to note though about the Jaguars side, um, Snoop Conner looked good. Like Snoop Conner looked cool. He looked like he's a powerful back. But the problem was Jaguars had too many mistakes and cost them the game. They had a drive with Jake Luton that was gonna likely score them a touchdown. But the wide receiver fumbled on a good pass and definitely killed that drive. And then a holding call on a kick return for a touchdown cost them a touchdown as well. So definitely two very big plays that cost them touchdowns. And the quarterback play was pretty bad from both parts, from Luton and the other quarterback from the USFL. Like, they were bad. Like, the second guy did not know how to throw a football at all. Like, it was bad. So Ian has more on that in his video. But first of all, I want to say NBC, they didn't have very good coverage of the Hall of Fame game. I know the Hall of Fame game is all about the Hall of Famers and talking about them. But their interviews, they had a spot in the left-hand corner where it's square when they were interviewing them. That was a perfect spot because you could see the game and the interview. But at most of the time, it wasn't like that. It was them cutting to full screen of them interviewing Brian Young or any of the Hall of Famers, and they quickly rush back to the game to try to catch the play. But then at the same time, you couldn't even see who caught the ball on the jersey. You couldn't see who got injured at all either because they kept cutting back their interview, and that was very, very bad. The Raiders had a very good scheme and game plan, and credit Josh McDaniels for that. This is his first year, and they came out firing on, not on all cylinders, but they came out firing very well executed plan. And like announcers even said, they were supposed to come out in like a simple style, but they had a scheme where that confused the Jaguars each and every way. They came out with different plays that kind of was a little more than simple, to be honest. And all the QBs that they had playing, the backups, they were executing that game plan very, very well, and looked like they all knew the playbook and knew where to find the receivers, and that was one of the big things. It was a very dominant performance from the Raiders' backups. The only slight thing that the Raiders did wrong, even though they basically blew out Jaguars, their second half drive stalled when they faced a little bit of pressure. Jaguars didn't have much pressure in this game, but when they did in the second half, it stalled out drives for the Raiders and kept giving the Jaguars opportunities to get back into this game, which they couldn't because of the mistakes, like I said earlier. So yeah, the Raiders had very good performance. Let's talk about the quarterbacks. Jarrett Stidham went 8 of 15 for 96 yards. Nick Mullins 8 of 11 for 72 yards. Both of them played very well. Had very accurate throws. Had a lot of time in the pocket. A very good time on the pocket. So that's why they played very well. But also they played well themselves. They threw the ball accurately, knew where the receivers were going to be, knew how to throw the ball to them. They did miss some throws low and high for both of them, but overall they both played very, very well in this game. And even their fourth string, Jade Scarbers, went 4 6 for 35 yards. He played well as well. Definitely didn't get much playing time as the others, but the Raiders backups knew their scheme and knew their playbook very well. As for the running back side of things, Zamir White, the rookie, he played very well. He had 11 carries for 52 yards, and he took the most of it on every rep he got. He was striking through people, juking people. He was making the most out of his time playing. And don't be surprised if this guy fights for a third string spot on the roster, because I definitely think he's going to make the roster. This guy fights very hard and very powerful running back. Austin Walter had 8 rushes for 49 yards and a touchdown. Definitely had a good running touchdown in the game and was very powerful back as well. Got through some gaps, juked some people out. This Raider running back core with good blocking can be scary. Josh Jacobs started the game a little bit, 5 for 30, looked like Josh Jacobs, looked very good. Jarrett Stidham had a rush for 12 yards for a touchdown. The Jaguars did a little stunt on defense to try to get some pressure, but left the right side wide open for Jarrett Stidham to run for a touchdown. Kenyon Drake did play. He got 5 rushes for 9 yards, but he didn't get injured. Fortunately, he did get back up and was fine, but they took him out of the game shortly after that. Amir Abdullah also had 2 carries for 7 yards. He did more in the receiving game this game, but Amir Abdullah also had a touchdown as well. He had a nice stretch play touchdown that he ran right behind his blockers for an easy touchdown. In the receiving game, Tyron Johnson, 2 receptions, 39 yards. Keelan Cole, 1 for 31 yards. Keelan Cole appeared to get injured, but then a little while later, he was on sidelines, standing up and fine. So thankfully, no injuries. There was a little scares on both sides with Tyson Campbell going down, but he was fine later too. So no one really got injured as far as I know. Samir White and Amir Abdullah each had 23 yards receiving, making them versatile in the running game and the receiving game. Jesper Horst had a reception. Marcus Robinson had receptions. Foster Moreau had a reception. Overall, a very, very good game plan by the team, by the Raiders. Their quarterbacks knew their route, knew their game plan, knew where receivers were going to be at all times, knew exactly how to throw the ball, and knew exactly where to throw the ball to their receivers. And credit that to their coaching staff and their familiarity with the wide receivers made the Jaguars quarterbacks look like they never played football in their life. That's how bad the Jaguars quarterbacks were. And the Raiders quarterbacks looked so good. They looked very good, like they shouldn't have. So yeah, that was my post-game thoughts on the Raiders. Post-game notes on that. One thing I want to say, if these backup quarterbacks know the offense well, some complex plays, Derek Carr and company, it's going to be a scary offense to look out for. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you know when we drop brand new videos. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PIPodcast and on Twitter at PIPodcasters. Until next time.